65-pound senior, number 62, Jason Haynes.
On the Valleys AM.
At guard, a 5'9", 235-pound junior, number 64, Rourke Hart. At tackle, a 6'5", 260-pound senior, number 75, Adam Socia. At wide receiver, a 6'1", 155-pound senior, number 11, Jeremy Bartlett. At running back, a 5'7", 195-pound senior, number 33, Kurt Bombardier. At running back, a 5'11", 205-pound senior, number 45, Jay Stevens. And at quarterback, a 6'2", 165-pound senior, number 16, Sean Keenan. And now introducing the starting offensive lineup for your Hartford Hurricanes. At tight end, a 6', 190-pound sophomore, number 81, Courtney Crump. At tackle, a 6'1", 225-pound senior, number 51, Seamus Morrissey. At guard, a 6', 215-pound senior, number 52, Nathan Eisner. At center, a 6'2", 240-pound senior, number 64, Tom Rice. At guard, a 5'8", 205-pound senior, number 73, Dana Clay. At tackle, a 290-pound, 6', 290-pound freshman, number 77, Sean Lou Maynard. At split end, a 6'1", 165-pound junior, number 12, Jason Gardner. At running back, a 5'7", 150-pound sophomore, number 6, Ethan Hill. At running back, a 5'8", 160-pound senior, number 32, Brayshawn Patcool. At fullback, a 6', 205-pound junior, number 20, Randy St. Peter. And at quarterback, a 6'1", 170-pound junior, number 5, Ryan McCarthy.
To left on your radio dial. High school football, Hartford, the winning streak ended a week ago. We'll see if they can get it back going and keep themselves very much in the Division I playoff hunt. The kick is fielded. It's fielded short, and already we have a flag on the play, and I got to imagine that's an offside call just from where the flag was thrown, right at about the 45-yard line. And you know, I got to tell you, in the years of doing high school football, I don't think I've ever seen a flag thrown when the ball was in midair and Hartford's offside.
Well, you know, that everybody, as you said, they're eager to get going. And, you know, you jump that little bit before the ball is kicked. You want to make your block. You want to get the ball. You want to whatever. And I think that Stoney said it all. This is a young team, and maybe they took bigger steps at the beginning of the season than they should have. Now they're in the process of trying to get it together, and naturally somebody's making an early mistake.
It is a little bit breezy here today, but the breeze is pretty much blowing from the MSJ side of the field across. Chadwick's kick this time is low and is fielded at the 15 by Gardner. He'll go to the left, up to about the 22, 23-yard line before he's brought down, and that's where the Hurricanes will start with it. 1st and 10 at their own 23. Gardner on the return. Once again, the Hartford offense up front, right to the middle. Eisner and Clay to the side. Guerin and Morrissey are the tackles. Gardner, Hill, and Crump the receivers. McCarthy. Patco and St. Pierre outside, and I paused a little bit there. I saw Gardner come to the sideline holding a hamstring. I'm not sure whether or not he may have been injured a little bit in the run back. McCarthy will... It is incomplete. Brian McCarthy's first down and 10 pass incomplete. He tried the little flare out there to St. Peter, and it fell. And I'm still searching on the sideline here for Gardner. Leg. So perhaps Gardner did get injured on that first play. Handoff this time, it will go to Hill. Hill works off the block of number 73, Dana Clay, and going to pick up about 5 yards before he is brought down.
Well, MSJ closed down the corner that time. They didn't give them the outside, and one thing MSJ has to do is not allow Hartford to get around the corner.
3rd and 7.
They'll give him 3 yards, so 3rd and 7, just a minute old here. From Hartford, of course, it was the Hurricanes who fumbled on each of their first 2 possessions a week ago. Here will go in motion. McCarthy with pretty good protection will roll, and the pass is intercepted. Interception made by number 32, Joe Lorman, and he is brought down at the 35-yard line. So once again, an initial Hartford drive ends in a turnover, and MSJ is going to get the ball here with 10:40 left to go in the first quarter in great field position, as they'll start with it 1st and 10 at the Hartford 35.
Well, this is something that is unique to MSJ. They really haven't enjoyed very good field position the whole year. They're at the 35-yard line and first down.
Stevens is the blocking back, and here's the name you're going to hear a lot about today. Kurt Bombardier picks up about 2 off the right side. Second and 8, he did get down to about the 33-yard line, and just from looking at the roster, it's pretty easy to tell. Stevens, the fullback, 5'11", 205. If you're a Hartford fan and familiar with Randy St. Peter, it's about that same build. So Stevens is usually somebody, Chuck, I imagine, who's opening the hole for Bombardier behind him.
Not quite as quick as St. Peter is.
They send Stevens off the left side here. Eisner is able to come from behind and pull him down, but only after a pickup of about another 5 yards. And once again, Jason Gardner comes to the sideline, this time holding his left arm. So the first couple of possessions have been costly ones for Hartford's fine receiver, Jason Gardner. They'll give Stevens 6 yards on the pickup, so it's 3rd down and about 1 with the ball down at the 27. The handoff is to Bombardier. He'll just put his head down. He's going to go. He's got 5. He's got about 10 yards, and he's all the way down inside the 15 before he's pulled down. So MSJ early showing some force here. They'll finally pull him down at the 14. A pickup of 13 yards by Kurt Bombardier.
Well, that's what Kurt does really well. If he can get through the hole, he's very strong and very powerful and doesn't usually fumble the ball.
1st and 10, MSJ, and somebody jumps. Left side of the offensive line, number 53. The tackle, Charlie Adams, jumped a little too quickly there, so that'll knock him back 5 yards. So thus far, we've only played 3 minutes, but boy, it has certainly been to MSJ's favor. They pick off McCarthy on this 3rd down situation, and then send Bombardier, Stevens, and Bombardier, and they're 1st down and 10 at the 14. The penalty makes it 1st and 15 back at the 19. Keenan, he'll hand it off to Bombardier. Didn't like it right. It's going to go left. He's at the 10, at the 5. Kurt Bombardier into the end zone for a 19-yard touchdown run, and MSJ leads this one 6-0.
Well, it's a shocker, but once again, the flow of the defense, you talked about it, their aggressiveness. They went to the MSJ right side of the formation. Bombardier cut back, went to the left, found nobody home.
Yeah, certainly an offensive line between Caruso and Hart. That was plugged up. He just sidestepped and went to the left and pretty much went in untouched. Chadwick for the extra point. The snap is bobbled. The holder's now going to throw, and the catch is made. 32, the holder, Joe Lorman, with the throw to Kyle Abel is complete, and boy, has lightning struck and struck quickly. 8:45 to go first quarter. MSJ leads this game 8-0 on the 19-yard touchdown run. Lorman to Abel, and at least from my vantage point, that did not look planned.
No, it was a high snap. Joe Lorman took it up high, and I think he made an instantaneous decision to try for the 2-point. Same 2-point team or tandem that worked last week for MSJ. Lorman to big Kyle Abel.
Chadwick's kickoff, it is high, it is relatively short. Prashawn Patkill will field it, drop it at about the 20, and now get out to the 25-yard line before he is brought down. So just one thing from that, and that's that it is usually Gardner and Hill who are back deep to receive for Hartford. That time it was Patkill and Hill. So perhaps the injury to Jason Gardner is going to cut down on his special team duties. He is in to start things here, however, as they started out 1st and 10 at their own 28. Well, we talked about Hartford wanting to come out and make a statement early. They made one. It wasn't positive, and they need to regroup. They'll go misdirection. This is Patkill. He's to the 30, spins out to the 31-yard line for a pickup of 3.
Tackle by Abel.
And again, Gardner comes to the sidelines, which isn't all that unusual, and that oftentimes they will use number 10, who is Jesse Kells, and Gardner, number 12, along with 37, Hills and Kudawash. One of those 4 are usually the Hartford players who are shuttling in the plays. But again, Gardner came up lame on the opening kickoff and then got hurt on the first play of the MSJ possession. 2nd down and 6 after the run by Patkill. This time it's St. Peter up the middle. He's to the 40, the 45. Randy St. Peter down to the 30 and all the way down to the 23-yard line before he's finally pulled down.
St. Peter on the carry.
Randy St. Peter on the 2nd down play rumbles all the way down to the 23-yard line. That's a pickup of 45 yards and a Hartford first down.
23, 1st and 10 Hartford.
Well, that's one thing that you can't ever take Hartford for granted, because when you got a running back like Randy St. Peter, you've always got to watch out.
They go to St. Peter again, and he just pulls his way up the middle, down to the 16 for a pickup of 7. A little quick on my math there. I was relatively close. It was a 46-yard pickup by St. Peter, and then 7 yards right there.
17, 2nd and 4.
Clock working its way towards 7 minutes left to go first quarter, and Hartford has certainly established themselves here. 2nd down and 7. The ball's at the 16-yard line. Gardner goes out wide left. St. Peter is in behind McCarthy. They give it to St. Peter. He bowls his way up the middle down to about the, looks to be about the 13-yard line. They may have to measure it. Looks from here as if he's got enough for the first down. Referee says yes.
I think so.
Hartford at the 13, 1st and 10 Hartford.
So give St. Peter another 3 yards there, and now it's going to be first down and 10 from the MSJ 13, and St. Peter has gone to the ground, doubled over. Something he did.
They just haven't been able to do the things that he wanted them to do.
St. Peter comes to the sideline. Hill's going to go in motion. The handoff misdirection to Patkill. He's going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage and lose a couple of yards, and that's a play that just didn't come off all that well. They sent Hill in motion to the right and then ran Patkill back across, and he literally ran into the quarterback, Ryan McCarthy. They'll lose 2 on the play. Of course, when we talk about Hill, there's a couple there. Ethan Hill was in the background. He is number 6. Jason Hill is the usual wideout. He is number 37. It's 2nd down and 12. We're midway through the first quarter. 8-0. MSJ leads it. Hill's going to go in motion to the left. The pitcher's going to go to Gardner. He'll follow. He'll go left. He's down to the 5. Down inside the 5. He fumbles the football, and the football is going to be in the hands of MSJ.
It looks like Jay Stevens.
Gardner got inside the 5, down to, I'd say, about the 2 or 3 yard line, got hit, and the ball went down. So Hartford with a solid drive, but once again it ends with a turnover, and with 5:47 to go in the first quarter, MSJ is going to get the football back. So Gardner, a good pickup there on the second down run, picked up about 11 yards, but then fumbled it away.
I think we're on the 4, are we not?
First and 10 for MSJ at the 4. They'll run Bombardier, just try to get themselves some running room. He'll take it for about 2 out to the 6. Boy, what a nice run by Gardner. Avoided a couple of tackles. They said got inside the 5, but then got it knocked away. 2 possessions for Hartford, and they both ended in turnovers.
You got to take care of the pigskin, and that's something that hurt MSJ early, and they seem to have taken better care lately.
This time they run number 32. That's Joe Lorman. He's going to pick up about another 2 before being brought down. Morrisian on the tackle, along with number 52, Nathan Eisenhower. Third down and 6 for the Mounties, with the ball at about the 10-yard line. Keenan, the quarterback, hands it off to Bombardier. He is going to be very close to the first down, up at about the 14. Nate Eisner in on the tackle.
They're going to measure.
Time out for measurement.
He needed
At their own 15.
so give him a pickup of 6 on the play, and the Mounties go again first and 10 from the 15.
Those are the football, Tom. That was it. I think you got a pretty good spot on that one there.
4:20 to go, first quarter. MSJ leads it, took advantage of a Ryan McCarthy interception, and ran it in earlier in the first quarter. This is Bombardier. He's got more running room. He's got another 10 yards and another MSJ first down. And you know, Chuck, from looking at him, Bombardier, who is 5'7", 195, and just on paper you'd say 5'7", 195, he's a little sort of fire plug. He certainly showed us some speed moves today.
Well, he's very quick. He's not going to beat a lot of people in a 40-yard dash, but he's a good cutting back, and he's learned to find the daylight. And I think that's quick and shifty is the way he is.
In motion, the pitch again will go to Bombardier, this time to the left. He gets run down from behind by 52, Nate Eisenhower. Eisenhower coming from his line tackle. They give Bombardier 3 yards, so it's second down and 7. We're under 3.5 to go first quarter. In motion, Bombardier, the lone back in behind Keenan. He'll take the pitch, and he's going to get brought down nearly in the backfield, but then struggles forward to pick up a couple before he's brought down by 64, Tom Rice.
Tackled by Rice.
Well, I guess when somebody a week ago has 200-plus yards, as Bombardier did, if I'm a coach, that doesn't take a genius. I give him the ball and see if he can pick me up another 200, and they certainly have so far today. In fact, Bombardier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's already carried the ball 7 times.
They're also eating the clock, which is Hartford's general game plan.
Handoff here will go to Stevens. Stevens off the left side. He's into the Hartford secondary, up to midfield, and gets brought down at the 49-yard line. And Hartford's going to take a timeout and try to regroup here. Mike Stone is not a happy high school 8-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Now, and again, we've played less than 10 minutes of this football game. The 2 backs in behind Keenan. He's going to go back and throw. It passes away, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for number 32, Joe Lorman. He threw a little high. So in his first foray into the air today, Keenan shows his pass fall short. Second down and 10 for the Mounties at the 49. Hartford has had the ball on 2 possessions. The first one, Lorman intercepted a McCarthy pass, and on the second possession, Gardner got to within the 5 and then fumbled. Second down and 10. This is Bombardier, and he is going to be brought down.
That was Lorman.
Excuse me, Lorman, 32. Crump in on the tackle. along with number 77, Jean-Luc Maynard, picked up a yard.
Now Hartford has forced MSJ into the throwing game here, so we'll see what happens.
3rd down and 9. Jeremy Bartlett, number 11, comes to the near side. Keenan will go back. He's under heavy pressure. Gets it away to Stevens, but only for a pickup of about 4 yards. Nate Eisner into the tackle. That'll be a 4th down and 5 with the ball now at the Hartford 45 with 1:45 left to go first quarter. And I got to imagine it's not going to do MSJ that much harm when you're a 1-3 ball club to go for it right here.
No, I think that's the smart thing to do. Why? Why not?
There's certainly a club with a lot more to gain than Hartford has to lose here today. 4th down and a good solid 4 yards. And Keenan tries to draw Hartford offside with the snap. Didn't get him to go, and now MSJ will take a timeout. Why don't we step aside as well? 1:19 left to go first quarter. We're back in 30 seconds. Keenan with the long snap count tried to draw Hartford off. Didn't work. Chuck Clarino, what do you do here?
You're up here. You tried to sucker. It didn't work. You punt the ball right now and play the field position gambit.
Keenan, the quarterback, is also the punter. He does kick it away. It's going to bounce a couple of times. Gardner will pick it up, looks to get to the sideline. He fielded it at about the 15, gets it back out to the 27 before he is brought down. So that's where Hartford will start with it. 1:09 left to go in the first quarter, and Hartford 1st and 10 with the ball at their own 27-yard line. Well, they certainly were effective last time. St. Peter with the big run, the 46-yarder, got it inside the 10 before Gardner fumbled.
He looks like he's back in the lineup, too, and everyone is back in for Hartford, all of their starters.
Yeah, Gardner comes wide to the right. McCarthy under center. He'll hand the ball to St. Peter. St. Peter with a pretty good block off the right side from Dana Clay. Actually ran into Clay and then tried to cut back upside. He'll only pick up a couple, if that. They'll give St. Peter 2, 2nd down and 8 from the 29, and what could possibly be the final play here in the first quarter, although we get a clock stoppage here as number 58, Bill Babb, one of the defensive linemen for MSJ, comes up a little bit lame, and he'll go to the sideline. So 33 ticks remaining here in the first quarter. In the other big local games today, Dartmouth is at home today, Laconia is at Hanover, and Stevens is at Lebanon. So, boy, if you were really precocious enough, you could watch 4 games, watch a quarter at each place. 2nd down and 8. They'll run the reverse to Pat Cole. He's trapped in the middle, spins forward for about 3. A play that, give credit to Prashant Pat Cole, could easily have been brought down in the backfield. Hartford's going to go back to the huddle. They're not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. MSJ on a touchdown run of 19 yards by Kurt Bombardier and a 2-point extra point conversion. That's the lone score here in the first quarter. We've played 12 minutes in Hartford, and MSJ 8 and Hartford nothing. Will be back and won that game 6-0. It is Brattleboro next week where Hartford will be, and we'll be there as well.
Wild game up there. Mark Spieth down, including twice inside the 10-yard line.
Also last night, Mount Anthony stayed unbeaten. They beat Middlebury 27-13. Flags thrown before the play starts. McCarthy's completion is to Hill, number 6, Ethan Hill. But where the flag was thrown, well, how many times did we say that during the course of last week? Where the flag was thrown, that's either a hold or an offside.
I think it's an illegal motion.
Referees are talking about it. It's certainly against Hartford as they go back. And the referee is talking with MSJ's Jay Stevens. Your referees today, referee is Dave Henry, Bill Flory, Dick Stowers, Stan Ristalis, and Bill Holland are the other officials. Nice completion there to Ethan Hill that picked up about, 10 or 15 yards before he was brought out.
Well-conceived pattern, a nice catch, good throw. Got the ball out of bounds, but unfortunately, I think he was moving a little too quickly.
Mark it at the 29, 3rd and 10, Hartford.
So the penalty now will take it back 5, and it's 3rd and 10, back at about the 27-yard line. St. Peter and Hill in behind McCarthy. McCarthy's going to roll to his left. Get the pass away. It's complete to St. Peter. Up to the 45, up to midfield before he's run out of bounds. McCarthy to St. Peter, the first time we've seen those two hook up in quite a while. The ball is out to midfield for a 23-yard pickup.
Mark it in midfield, 1st and 10, Hartford.
So once again, Hartford find themselves in a little bit of 3rd down trouble, but recovers from it and sets up a 1st down and 10. Gardner goes wide to the right. Ethan Hill is in the slot back. He's going to come in motion towards us. The handoff right at the middle, St. Peter. He's got 5. He's got 9 yards before he's brought down. But a flag on the play, and I'm afraid that's going to be against number 51, Seamus Morrissey, for a block right at the end of the play. I didn't pick up the number, but whoever made the tackle on St. Peter was literally down on the ground, reached up to grab St. Peter and to pull him down. And as that player for MSJ was on the ground, Morrissey threw the block, and that's where the flag came from. So you give St. Peter the 9-yard run, but then the penalty is going to get tacked onto that in a negative fashion. So it's going to be about 2nd down and 4. Always a tough call because the run's already been made. The yardage has already been picked up. And that's the call, illegal block, trying to help St. Peter along. Some of the Hartford faithful down below us not exactly all that agreeable to it.
Well, he still gets the 1st down.
1st and 6.
How often do you see that happen? 1st and 6. McCarthy, they'll go right back to St. Peter. He'll pick up the needed yardage there and quite a bit more down to the 36-yard line. So the penalty put it back out to about the 46, so give St. Peter another 10 yards. And another 1st and 10, this time down at the 36-yard line.
Well, you know, if you got a horse, you ought to ride him, and I think that's what Hartford ought to do, because he seems to be the most effective player on the field right now, and certainly when he comes out of the backfield and catches the ball, boy, that's scary.
St. Peter's actually on the sideline here. He's got a little bit of equipment problem, so they pitch the ball to Gardner. Gardner's going to go to the outside and himself pick up 6 or 7 before he's brought down on the far right side. And the problem they have with St. Peter now on the sideline, Chuck, is that on that last tackle, most of the upper right side of his uniform got ripped apart.
Well, you know,
you're going to bring him down somehow. I guess that's the way they're going to do it. So,
and the way he's running is grab anything.
Yeah. Give Gardner 8 yards on that. 2nd down and 2, down at the 28. Gardner and Hill are in behind McCarthy. Hill's going to go in motion. They try to go misdirection to Pat Cool, but no go, said number 72, Mike Popovich. Pat Cool literally ran directly into the chest of Mike Popovich and loses 4.
Back to the 31, taking 3rd and 5.
So maybe a throwing down here for McCarthy. Again, St. Peter is going to go back into the game. I can tell you one thing, from a defensive standpoint, they're not going to be able to reach up and grab St. Peter by the right shoulder because there's nothing left of his uniform on the right shoulder. 3rd and 5, here they go. St. Peter right up the middle is pulled down short of the 1st down, but there's a flag on the play.
I think it's more movement in the line, looks to me.
Tackle was made there by number 31. That's Kevin Hughes of MSJ. It's certainly Hartford who's walking back as Ryan McCarthy looks over to head coach Mike Stone. He puts his arms up in the air as if to say, what do you want me to do? And Mike Stone does the same thing back to him.
Marking on the 36-yard line.
So the 5-yard penalty will put the ball back out to the 37, and again it's third down, and McCarthy is certainly in a throwing position here. Kudemarsh and Crump now will shuttle in the plays. Kudemarsh comes to the left side. Hill in the slot back will now also come to the left. McCarthy, they'll throw the swing out pass to Pat Gould. Pat Gould gets down to about the 30, a pickup of 5, but he's going to be well short of the first down. It's that little swing out pass they ran last week to Pat Gould that went incomplete, and of course because it was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, it went for one of the turnovers, one of the fumbles that Hartford committed last week. This has been a rather lengthy drive. They took the ball over with 1:09 to go in the first quarter, so they've had the ball for about 5 minutes. And they will go for it here on 4th down and 5 with the ball at the 30.
4 down territory the rest of the way.
McCarthy comes up to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't know exactly what he wants to do, and he's going to call timeout. Chuck will keep it right here. 8:25 to go in the second quarter. MSJ with a lead at 8-0. And, you know, sometime about 3 or 4 hours from now, when here,
and I believe you're 4 down territory to the rest of the way.
St. Peter is the lone back in behind McCarthy. McCarthy will roll to the right. He wants Gardner deep, and the pass is incomplete. Nearly intercepted by number 8, Greg Fuller. The pass goes incomplete. Gardner was the attempted receiver. So with 8:18 left to go in the second quarter, Hartford will turn the ball over on downs, and MSJ will take it 1st down and 10 at their own 30. So a time-consuming possession for Hartford. They kept the ball for just about 5 minutes, but unable to put any points on the board. And certainly the MSJ momentum factor and confidence factor has got to have risen 3 or 4 fold before the start of this ball game.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right, and I think Ryan McCarthy just made a bad choice. He had 2 guys open in the flat. He didn't go with them. All he needed was 4 yards.
Long and up the middle. Clay is there to bring him down, along with number 63, Phil Guerin. The flag thrown, though, and could well be against MSJ, and they will talk with 52, Nate Eisnor.
I think it's motion again.
I think that if I'm Hartford right here, I think you refuse the penalty. Give him the 1 yard or no yard pickup, because from a psyche, from a confidence standpoint, I think you need to get the ball back in the hands of Ryan McCarthy and say, you're going to do something with it here, young man.
Well, you know, if it's illegal motion, you can't refuse that penalty.
Okay, correct. And they will knock him back 5 yards.
At the 25-yard line, 1st and 15.
So it's back to 1st and 15 at the 25. 8:09 left to go second quarter in what has not been the response to the end of the losing streak that I know Hartford would have liked to seen today. Keenan's going to go back to pass. Great protection, rifles the ball over the middle, and is tipped away by Nate Eisnor. So 2nd down and 15, you know, you have a penalty and then you throw on the 1st down play. Now it's 2nd and 15. You pretty much put yourself into a situation where you know you're going to have to throw on 1, if not 2 of these next couple of downs.
Well, I didn't see Kurt Bombardi in the offense that particular set. I don't know if there's anything wrong with him, but he's not in there again. So
there is a MSJ player, and it is Bombardi, who's on the bench over to the left-hand side. They try to run to the left, and they just cannot bring Jay Stevens down. It finally takes, and I kid you not, 9 members of the Hartford team in on the tackle before Stevens was finally run down and the flag thrown, and I'm wondering if they might call that a little bit too overzealous. Boy, they just could not bring Stevens down.
No, they couldn't.
And Stevens comes up applauding, and I think that's going to be the call here, Chuck. It is a face mask. So it has not been a good afternoon for this Hartford ball club. 7:43 to go in the second quarter. They already trail it 8-0, and with the penalty, that's going to give MSJ enough yardage up to the 42-yard line. So Stevens only picked up 2, but then with a 15-yard face mask penalty, that gets it up to the 42. and MSJ has it first down and 10 from there.
Well, Hartford is really shooting itself in the foot here.
Handoff again is to Stevens. He's going up the middle. He's in to midfield. He's at the 40. Gardner's the only man who can bring him down, and does, but not before Jay Stevens rumbles down to the 28-yard line. And a pickup there of 30 yards. Well, we told her, but right now he's seated on the bench across the way from us, and it's Kurt Stevens' show.
Jay Stevens.
Him too.
Yeah. Kurt and Jay.
Boy, I can tell you Bombardier is certainly getting some attention over on the sideline. He's got about 5 or 6 people huddled around him.
Well, he has been the offense so far this year for MSJ.
First down and 10 at the 28 for the Mounties. Give the ball to Stevens again. Why not? He's been successful so far in this drive. Only able to bowl his way into the line for a yard, maybe 2, before he's brought down there. Stevens has been the main man on this drive. 6.5 left to go, second quarter. MSJ leads it 8-0. Hartford, winners of 28 in a row, saw that win streak come to an end last week, and they have come out a little bit shell-shocked today. It's Stevens again. He'll try to go outside left, and he's going to get forced back inside by Pat Cole, and is only going to pick up maybe another yard down to the 26, 25-yard line before Eisner, Morrissey, Guerin, all there to make the tackle. He will get down to the 25, so give him 2. And Stevens is going to be getting a little tired. He's ran the ball in the last 4 plays. Third down and 5. You're in 4-down territory here, so not necessarily does MSJ need to go to the air. Keenan will here. He'll roll to his left. He's got one man downfield, and the pass is intercepted by Pat Cole. Intercepted by Gill. Pass intended downfield. Interception made on the play, and then run back out, and I was a little worried they might show pass interference there.
Well, you know, it was 50-50 call.
Yeah. And I will take that back. That was number 37, Hill, with the interception. When I first saw it come up, I thought it was 32, Pat Cole. It was 37, Hill, with the interception. 5:18 to go in the second quarter. Hartford's going to get the ball back, and they'll run St. Peter right up the middle.
Where are they? 30-yard line, huh?
Drive starts after the interception return at the 29, and they St. Peter up the middle for 5. So really, what?
5. Well, that was an ill-advised pass there. You can't throw to a guy who's got somebody right on top of him like that.
Here's St. Peter again. He's rumbling up near the 40, out to the 45 and the 46-yard line before he is pulled down. So give Randy St. Peter 12 yards on that pickup, and another Hartford first down out to the 46, and with the clock now ticking down under 5 minutes, 4:30 now to be exact. It's a Hartford offense that desperately needs to get in the end zone here before halftime, at least from a psychological basis. St. Peter the only back in. They fake the reverse to Patco. McCarthy with tons of time. Looks over the middle for Gardner. It's intercepted. Pass hit Gardner and then went down. There's a bevy of flags on the field, so hold on for a moment here. Finally run out of bounds is number 8, Greg Fuller, all the way back at the Hartford 36-yard line, but just hold on a minute. McCarthy faked to Pat Cole, rolled to his left, threw back across the middle to Gardner at about the 30. Gardner got his hands on it, couldn't hold it, and went up in the air. Fuller pulled it down, and then we have 2 separate flags.
It looks like they're talking to MSJ, too.
So they could well have been flagged.
Illegal man downfield.
Illegal receiver against Hartford downfield.
And that will be waved off. And as a result, another Hartford turnover. Two St. Peter runs picked them up some yardage, but then McCarthy is intercepted. 4:08 to go in the half, and MSJ in great field position as they start this drive, first down and 10 at the Hartford 35. Fuller with an excellent return there, about a 30-yard return. Keenan, they'll send Stevens right up the middle. He's got 10. He's got 11 yards.
Carry tackle by Gardner.
Gardner on the tackle, but it's going to be another MSJ first down, this time down at the 24. Chuck, with the clock at 3:57, Hartford has already used 2 of their timeouts. I got to wonder if maybe it give Hartford the chance to get the ball back again.
Well, you know, it's always been
11-yard run there. Gardner is up, walks under his own power to the sideline, sort of cradling his left arm against his body as he does. Once again, I mentioned the time, 3:54 to go before the half. First down and 10 for the Mounties at the 24-yard line. They send Bartlett out wide to the right, and again they run Stevens up the middle, a yard, maybe 2. And certainly while they would like to put some points on the board, I've got to be thinking that head coach Brian Grady has got an eye on that clock as well, because how important would it be if they were able to run out this first half and not let Hartford take the ball back?
The other thing, the Mounties do have a pretty good field goal kicker in McGregor Chadwick. He has hit them from 40 yards in practice. He had a 37-yarder, I believe, this year.
Down to 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Lorman is the lone back in behind Keenan. They send Stevens in motion, and Keenan is going to roll, throw downfield, and Bavos made the catch. Are they going to say interception or not? Yes! Shannon Bavos with the interception down at about the 9-yard line. Impossible to tell from our angle whether or not he had gotten a foot down after he made the grab. Referees say yes.
Well, I was wondering who Sean Keenan was throwing that ball to.
Well, there was certainly nobody in the area. Perhaps trying to throw it away, but didn't get it away far enough. So Hartford gets the ball back and another chance, although in not the greatest of field position. First down and 10 at their own 9. It's St. Peter, behind Patco, behind Eisnor, rumbling all the way out to the 23-yard line for a pickup of 14. So Randy St. Peter, again the workhorse back, as he has been all year long, out to the 23, indeed, a pickup of 13. But again, Hartford, remember, has used a couple of timeouts, so that clock now with 2.5, and they still some 70 yards to go. McCarthy wants to throw. Under pressure, rolling right, is going to be brought down.
Brought down to the backfield.
Back to the 14, so a loss of 9. Ryan McCarthy sacked. He went back, rolled to the right, had Gardner well downfield, but didn't have the time to get back and set up to throw the ball deep. He's brought down, and it'll be second down and 19. Clock continues to run under 2 minutes, 1:55 and counting. Gardner is wide to the left. Hill is slot left. They hand the ball to Patco, and Patco's going to lose 5 yards. Brought down back at the 9.
That wasn't Patco, it was...
Or was that Hill?
Hill.
It was Hill, 37. Referees are going to stop the clock. Hill comes up a little lame here as he will come to the sidelines. And now the referees signal that MSJ is going to take a timeout. 15, the 10. Lorman returns the ball all the way down to the 3-yard line. And the hex on this Saturday afternoon continues for Hartford. Hill got trapped and lost 5 yards in the reverse. Hartford was forced to punt the ball out of their own end zone. Lorman fielded it at about the 43-yard line and returned it all the way down to the 3, and MSJ is going to use their final timeout. And boy, Chuck, what a 2.5-minute ball in anybody's hands but Jay Stevens here. I am going to be very surprised.
You're shocked.
Stevens, that's the call. He goes up the middle. Stevens is brought down short of the end zone. Picked up about a yard. They're obviously in no huge hurry here because the clock's just going to continue to work in their favor. Stevens, from where I see the yardsticks, picked up about a yard. They're at the 1. It's Stevens again, and Stevens is into the end zone. 47 seconds remaining in the first half. Jay Stevens goes over left tackle, following the center Hayes, and also Bill Babb and Charlie Adams on the left side. Rolls his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And MSJ leads this ball game 14-0 as they line up for Chadwick's extra point kick.
Big point right here, Tom. Very big point.
If they put this up, they're going to force Hartford to score twice and do something with it. Hartford's offside on the extra point attempt. Chadwick's kick was up, but the whistle was blown before.
That's going to go against the, looks like St. Peter came in early on that one.
So that's going to move the ball down to the 1.5, and now if you're the coach, you're saying, gee, we're down this close.
And here comes Sean Keenan, and looks like they're going to go for 2.
Yep, they bring in the rest of their offensive line, as I see, look like 72 Mike Popovich come in, and also the regular center 62 Jason Hayes. After the penalty, they're going to move it in and go for it. 47 seconds remaining. Lorman and Stevens are in the eye behind Keenan. The handoff is at Lorman. Lorman is in for the 2-point conversion. So with 47 seconds remaining in the first half, it is MSJ 15 and Hartford nothing. We're going to step aside for 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
Gateway Motors is the place to go.
2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions, 16-0. MSJ leading Hartford here as Chadwick is set to kick off. And boy, wouldn't Hartford love to do something here and at least squelch the momentum. Back deep is Gardner and Hill back at about their own 10. Chadwick will dribble the ball right up the middle. It is fielded by St. Peter at about the 25. St. Peter back up to the 30, the 35 before he's tripped and brought down. And Hartford's going to get it with 41 seconds left after Randy St. Peter's kickoff return of about 17 yards.
First and 10 at their own 36.
And I guess if you're Mike Stone, this is a toss-up. Do you just run St. Peter up the middle and get out of here, or do you try and do something with 30 seconds?
Well, I think you keep it conservative. Regroup.
McCarthy's going to roll back, attempt to pass, and he's going to get crushed. 3 MSJ people, including number 52, Mike Albricio, who was there to begin with. They throw McCarthy for a loss of 10 yards, and that's going to end the half. Kurt Lombardi here, yeah, we expected him with a 19-yard touchdown run early in the first quarter, but the story of the game has been mistakes and turnovers by this Hartford football club. At the half, MSJ 16 and Hartford nothing. Finds themselves behind. Let's see if they rally and get back on the winning side. Hill's kick is short. It will be fielded at the 23 by one of the outbacks and brought back up to the 42-yard line. Number 31, Kevin Hughes on the return. Once again for MSJ, Keenan, the quarterback. It's Adams, Babb, Hayes, Hart, and Caruso up front. Jay Stevens and Joe Lorman, the two backs. 81, Darrell, and I'll let you jump in there. Oskowski. Thank you. That's exactly how I was going to pronounce it. This is Stevens to the left side. Pat Cole's on the tackle after a pickup of 3. And Chuck, one thing I got to imagine here from a clock standpoint is you can't expect Keenan to put the ball up in the air too much. If you're MSJ, you'd love to just keep this ball between the hash marks and let the clock run.
Yeah, I think you got to grind it here and grind some time. Be very judicious with your passing.
They send Lorman up to almost midfield for a pickup of 5 on second down. Short of the first down by about a yard. So they set up third down and 1. Hartford defensive front, Crump, Clay, Rice, and Morrissey. Duda, St. Peter, and Eisenhower, and then Pat Cool, Gardner, Hill, and Bavos. Third down and 1. The nose of the ball right at midfield. He fumbles the snap. Keenan fumbled the snap, picked it up and dove forward, but I think they're going to say that his knee hit the ground back at about midfield. And if he did, he's going to be short of the first down. They will say just that. So Keenan for no pickup, and it's 4th down and 1.
Oh, there's a big play right there, right off the bat.
And you see how conservative MSJ is going to take it here. It's 4th down and it's a good yard, but with the ball at midfield, they're going to elect to kick it away and give the ball back to Hartford. Keenan is on to kick. Gardner back deep to receive. The punt is up. It is short. It will land at the 25 and then bounce away, and Gardner will walk away from it, and it is downed at the 15-yard line, and that is where Hartford will start with it with 9:38 left to go in the third quarter.
The goal set at the 15. Hartford starts 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 15. The offensive line in front of the quarterback, Ryan McCarthy, Tom Rice, Nate Eisdor, and Dana Clay to either side, Seamus Morrissey and Phil Guerin to the outside. Gardner and Crump, the receivers. Hill is the slot back. Pat Cohen, St. Peter. It's Randy St. Peter. Struggles up to about the 22 and a flag thrown at the end of the play. And St. Peter comes up clapping, so I'm assuming the penalty is against MSJ. Got up to about the 23-yard line. So St. Peter with a pickup of 7. One of those things with high school athletes, I wonder if any of them looked in the backfield and said, oh, it's number 26, that St. Peter kid isn't here anymore. Until he ran them over. The penalty yardage will bring it up to the 37-yard line. So the 15-yard data after the play, the ball is fumbled away, and the ball is right into the hands of MSJ. Number 31, the ball squirted through, and number 31, Kevin Hughes, comes up with it and runs it into the end zone. Well, there's a shocker right there, huh? The play ran to the left, and I got to tell you the truth, in the midst of things, I didn't see who had the ball for Hartford. 37 had the ball. Okay, so it was Hill. Hill had the carry. The ball popped up, went right into the air, and Hughes was there to recover it and run it back for the MSJ touchdown. And with 9:02 to go in the third quarter, this is suddenly a 22-0 ball game. I am shocked. We'll talk about the breaks going your way.
Yeah.
I mean, how, high school football, the ball's fumbled, it usually goes down to the ground and you fall on it. That one was more or less like a pass, the way it popped out and went right into the hand of Hughes, and just the way Hughes was running to the right, pursuing the tackle on Hill, and it hit him right in stride, and he just kept going. And now Hartford is offside again, so the ball is going to be moved down to the 1.5. And they bring Stevens back into the ball game, and they're going to go for the 2-point conversion again.
Well, why not? Hartford keeps giving them the chance. They keep opening the door. They're giving MSJ confidence. There goes Joey Lorman, off tackle, another 2-pointer.
24-0. MSJ leads Hartford. 9:02 to go, third quarter. We're back in 30 seconds to nothing. I will repeat that again. It is MSJ 24 and Hartford nothing. And Chuck, I think if you had told any follower of high school football that was going to be the score 27 minutes into this football game, nobody would have believed you.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, but that's why they play these games, and that's why they're high school football games.
Chadwick's kick is fielded by number 33, Ryan Camber. And he returns the ball up to the 28-yard line.
You know, we've talked a lot about Hartford's winning streak here, and certainly they have developed a terrific program, but you got to remember MSJ has 14 Division I state championships. They have been a very powerful team over the years. And they're asserting themselves again.
They send Randy St. Peter out the left side for 2. And I don't want to say it's time to hit the panic button yet, but I'd certainly be finding it.
Or looking for it, right?
Well, again, the 3 touchdowns are bad enough offensively for Hartford to overcome, but those 3 2-point conversions now put you with 24 points and just a lot to overcome.
Well, it's not what you'd call a... Well, there's a pretty explosive play.
For Sean Patko to the right and then back up the middle before finally being brought down at the 46-yard line for a pickup of 16. And it's to a point now where Hartford needs to score and needs to score pretty quickly. Because I can tell you, with a 3-touchdown and 24-point lead, I am going to be shocked if Sean Keenan of MSJ puts the ball back up in the air again.
Well, there's no reason to right now. All the onus is on Hartford. They've got to develop something.
St. Peter for 5, up over midfield and into MSJ territory at the 49. 7.5 left to go, third quarter. Bombardier with a touchdown, Stevens with a touchdown, and then Kevin Hughes with a 33-yard fumble return for a touchdown. They have thrown for 1 2-point conversion and rushed for 2 others. And the confidence level of MSJ, you can just see it defensively. This is a pumped club. Gardner off the left side to the 20, the 15, the 10. Jason Gardner on a 49-yard touchdown run. Oh, that's exactly what Hartford needed it. And Jason Gardner got it. 7:08 of the third quarter. Jason Gardner on a 49-yard touchdown run, and Hartford is on the board. Gardner lined up in the backfield, went off the left tackle, and the Hurricanes will go for 2 here. The handoff to St. Peter. He bowls up the middle. Did he get it or not? No. Referees say no. So the score stands at 24-6. They tried to send Randy St. Peter right left to go third quarter. And Hartford, if the road to come back is there, has made the initial foray. Jason Gardner, a 49-yard touchdown.
They flip the ball to Gardner, and he slips through the line. Once he makes the initial breakthrough of the line, he's all alone. Because all of the linebackers and defensive backs are keying on St. Peter.
4 plays, 72 yards, and most importantly for Hartford, it took 1 minute and 54 seconds. And that's exactly what they need, a very quick, very explosive scoring drive. So Hartford's on the board for the first time today, and Hill is set to kick the ball away once again. This one is again short and will be fielded by Lorman at the 24. He comes back up the middle. gets to the 40-yard line before being brought down with 7:03 left. So a 16-yard return for Lorman from the 24 up to the 40, and that's where MSJ will start with it. Again, the names you're going to hear an awful lot over the course of the next 18 minutes or so of high school football are 32, Joe Lorman, and number 45, Jay Stevens. Those are the two individuals in the MSJ backfield, and those are the two individuals who are going to get the ball an awful lot. Stevens goes in motion away. The pitch goes to Lorman. He's got 5. He's out to midfield, to the 40, the 35-yard line before Gardner runs him down. A 25-yard pickup by Joe Lorman. They had Stevens in the slot back position to the left, and I assumed they were going to run that way. They set Stevens in motion and then ran to the right side in a nice block thrown by number 91, the tight end, John Johnson.
Yes, and Joe Lorman turning the corner. Mountie fans haven't seen that very much. MSJ has had no success running wide, but I think maybe the big inside game has helped open that up a little bit.
Somebody on the left side of the Mount St. Joseph's offensive line, 53, Charlie Adams, I believe, moved there. That's going to knock him back 5 yards. It'll be first down and 15. Back at the 40. Again, Joe Lorman, he's number 32. Lorman is a 5'8", 185-pound senior. And number 45, Jay Stevens, is a 5'11", 205-pound senior. Stevens goes in motion to the right. They send Lorman off the left side, a pickup of 2 yards. Eisner is there. St. Peter was there. Also number 64, Tom Rice, all in on the tackle. They'll give Lorman just 1 yard.
Mark it at the 39, second and 13.
Second and 14 yards with the ball at the 39. But again, the real opponent of Hartford now is the big black thing down in the corner of the end zone, and that's the clock as it moves toward 5 minutes left to go, third quarter. Keenan, now this is surprising, back to pass. He's going to scramble, going to keep it himself and run out of bounds after only a pickup of 3 or 4 yards. And maybe I'm a little bit old-fashioned here, but I just don't see anything profitable from sending Keenan back to pass. Because in one aspect, he can have the ball.
You certainly don't want him to go out of bounds either, right?
You know, I'm thinking here, 4 things can happen, and 3 of them are bad. An interception, an incompletion, and he runs out of bounds are all negative.
Well, maybe they're just trying to keep Hartford honest here, from just stop clogging up the run.
He picked up 4, third down and 10. And now a broken play, and Keenan is going to get blocked down in the backfield. Is able to escape after only a loss of 1, but again, Hartford is able to knock him out of bounds. And you don't want to start talking about this whole time thing too early, but when you're down by 3 touchdowns, 10, 12 seconds here every single play in the middle of the third quarter could come back to be an awful lot of help late. And we speak of that, of course, with this Hartford club who literally last week just ran out of time and were forced to run a couple of plays just to stop the clock in a time frame when they would have loved to have been able to call a timeout and regroup. 4th down and 10. The ball's at the 35. I got to imagine MSJ just tries to punch a little kick here and at least gain themselves some yardage. No, they're going to go for it. You're in a great position here at 4th down. It doesn't do any harm. And they will come to the line, and now will have taken too much time, so now they're going to get knocked back out to the 40. So the delay of gameplay makes it 4th down and 15 from the 40. There is 5:01 left to go in the third quarter. MSJ leads this ball game 24-6. 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions. Keenan is now back to punt. Gardner will go back to receive. The punt's away as they go for the right corner. Gardner is going to let it roll into the end zone for a touchback. 4:54 to go third quarter. Hartford will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20 when we come back in 30 seconds on the Valley's AM. Peter off the right side. He picks up 6. So Randy St. Peter, who
Down by 5.
in big part thanks to a 46-yard run in the second quarter, had over 100 yards in the first half, picks up 6 more there.
Well, Hartford looks a lot better coming to the line and the way they're approaching this game right now.
Hill goes in motion left. They'll run Patco here. Patco will fall the block of Eisenhower and pick up plenty for the first down as he scoots out to the 37-yard line for a pickup of 11. And again, this has not been a Hartford offense that is stalled. Let's remember, it was 3 critical turnovers in that first half that left them scoreless at the break. McCarthy brings the troops to the line. Hill goes in motion to the left. The ball's on the near right sideline. St. Peter will run short side, barrel a couple of people over, and pick up another first down as he's into MSJ territory. And when I say barrel a couple of people over, I mean really barrel a couple of people over, but now Randy St. Peter is hurt as he's on his knees on the sideline. It's one of those things that kind of goes unnoticed because St. Peter ran through his own team bench as he was getting tackled, and he's hurt, but behind the bench, so play continues. A 14-yard pickup there. They go left with a pitch to Gardner. Gardner's got running room and picks up 7.
Brought down by Lorman.
2nd down and 3 it'll be after Gardner picks up 7 yards down to the 41-yard line. Randy St. Peter was on his hands and knees down on the ground in front of us, has now rolled over onto the right side. Under 3.5 to go, third quarter, 24-6, MSJ leads it. Kudemarsh is wide right. Gardner, and now Pat Cole's in motion. This is Gardner. Tries to just pull his way off the right side, no going there. Hugh is in on the tackle along with number 91, John Johnson.
Well, that time his play didn't work. It looked like Hughes keyed right in on him. And interesting, Hughes is taking Bombardi's place on the defense. He's playing his linebacker spot.
3rd down and a good solid 2 yards. Backs are split behind McCarthy. Hill goes in motion left. The handoff is to Patco. Prashant Patco appears to have enough for the first down. He needed about 3, and he appears to have gotten it. Let's see if the referees decide to measure or not. No, they will signal first down. So Hartford will have it 1st down and 10 at the 37. 2.5 left to go, third quarter. MSJ scoring twice in the first half. Kurt Bombardier early, Jay Stevens late. They made both 2-point conversions. 1st down and 10. McCarthy hands it off to Gardner. He'll go left side for about 4 or 5 behind Eisner and Morrissey and Rice on the left side. And referees blow the whistle here as a couple of people slow in getting up on the MSJ side of things.
Timeout for injury.
This left is going to be enough time because momentum may be starting to push its way back to the Hartford side. This is Prashant Patco. Patco is unable to run over number 65, Keith Hannigan. Nice tackle by Hannigan. Pulls Patco down for no pickup.
Hartford is a 32, 105.
3rd down for Hartford. And we'll see if Ryan McCarthy is going to go to the air here as the clock ticks. 1:40 to go, third quarter.
St. Peter is still not in, but they got double flankers out there.
Kudamarsh, and they hand the ball off to Gardner. Gardner's going to spin his way down to the 25. Looks to be enough for the first down. All the way down to the 25 for a 7-yard pickup for Jason Gardner.
5-yard line, first and 10 Hartford.
So the drive continued. Under a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. St. Peter still on the sideline talking with Coach Mike Stone. Kudamarsh and Hill go wide left. The pitch goes to Gardner. Gardner tries to cut it back inside. We're going to get a couple of flags thrown in the play. I think the flags are going to be for a clip against number 6, Ethan Hill. Hill was in the wide left position, came back into the middle to try to throw a block for Gardner, but appeared to come in from behind. So Gardner was tied up for no gain, and now the penalty on the clip is going to bring it all the way back out to the 35-yard line. So Gardner for no gain, and then the clipping penalty, and all of a sudden it's first down and 25, and the ball's back at the 40. What a huge play that was.
Mark it at the 40-yard line, first and 25.
And Randy St. Peter is back from the dead with a minute to go in the third quarter.
The fifth stage.
And I'm just going to make the genius call here and say I hand the ball to St. Peter who's back in the ball game. Okay, I'm not a genius yet. Prashant Patko goes outside left side and literally gets yanked down by the shoulder pad on the tackle made by number 52, Mike Albricio.
It's Alberico.
From the
A very Rutland name.
My Italian relatives would, well, I didn't have any Italian relatives. That's probably why. Nice tackle there. It looked like Patko was on his way, but he gets pulled down after a pickup of a yard.
Second and 24.
So second and 24 from the 39, and this could be the final play in the third quarter.
Yeah, look at this.
Hartford struggling to get a lineman off the field. They'll throw the little swing pass to Patko. He's going to pick up 5, 10, about 15 yards. He steps out of bounds at the 24 with 2 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 15-yard pickup down to the 24. So that'll make it third down and 9.
Mark at the 24-yard line.
They need to get to the 15. That stops the clock with 2 seconds left, so they'll run this play. St. Peter and Pat Cool in the background. Third down and 9. They hand the ball to Randy St. Peter. Tries to work off a block. He's going nowhere. He loses 3 yards. St. Peter loses 3, and we have played 3. 3 quarters. And Hartford 6. We'll be back for the thing to do here, but go for it. To punt the ball away does you absolutely no good with it at the 27.
No, you need points. You need scores, any kind of scores, and you know what difference does it make if you lose a game by 12 or 20? You know, at this point, you got to go for it, no question.
A long road to come back, and this is certainly a run to climb. Fourth down and 12. With Pat Coe in motion, McCarthy's going to roll right. He wants Kudamarsh. The pass is complete to Gardner, but it appears to be short of the first down. Kudamarsh was the deep receiver. Gardner was the short receiver. Gardner's going to pick up only about 11 yards, comes up about a yard short. So on downs on the first play of the fourth quarter, Hartford turns it over, and boy, what a bitter pill that is to swallow.
Well, if you're going to go for it, you might as well go for it.
Gardner just ran his route about a yard short. So MSJ is going to take over here with the ball first down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Stevens right up the middle. St. Peter brings him down after a pickup of 3. And MSJ now looks at the clock as their biggest ally.
Well, MSJ has got to get some first downs. they got to stay in bounds. If Sean Keenan runs with the ball, he ought to be told, sit down, don't go out of bounds.
And I think also importantly here, important for them to keep their hands on the football.
Oh, yeah.
This is Lorman. Lorman's just going to run between the tackles.
Lorman on the carry.
Picks up about 3. The turnover is the biggest enemy of MSJ here. It's a situation of they hold all the cards with 10:40 left to go in the ball game. Pick up of 3 by Lorman. It's 3rd down and 4 with the ball out to 21.
That's 4.
Started today, crystal clear. Things have gotten a little bit cloudy, but not all that bad in the temperature department.
The wind's calmed down a little.
10:20 to go in the ball game. Stevens comes in motion. Keenan will pitch the ball to Lorman. And Patco is there with the tackle, and then a host of his teammates. Lorman's going to lose 4 yards. But again, the big thing here is now does Hartford rush and try to block the punt, or just set up and try and get a good return and work on field position to try to get touchdown number 2. Ball back at about the 17, 18-yard line. Keenan taking his time. Keenan might not be all that ill-advised just to take a delay of game penalty here. Well, maybe he's a 5 yards.
He wants to get a punt off here.
He will take the quick snap and get it off under heavy pressure. Gets away a good punt. It'll land at the 45, and Pat Cool will walk away from it, and it's going to roll dead down at the 36-yard line. 9:20 to go in the ball game. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Being a business 100% supportive of local community groups and events. North Country, Auto Van and Truck Rental on the Miracle Mile in Lebanon.
Hartford wastes no time. They go to the air early. McCarthy intended for number 6, Ethan Hill. That falls incomplete. Boy, big tip of the cap there to the quarterback, Sean Keenan. Didn't really have the right personnel on the field, was trying to get some other people on, then decided just to take the snap and kick it away before the delay call was made, and boomed out a 49-yard punt.
Oh, flag down.
The pass was incomplete as McCarthy attempted to get the ball to Hill, but now we're going to have a holding penalty against. So the initial call was against MSJ, and that is going to be the call. So that's going to make it 1st down and about a yard.
I don't quite understand a 10-yard holding penalty on the defense.
I think they were saying perhaps where the actual the hold was made, the 10 yards from there. Nonetheless, you know, Hartford's going to be going to the air, but not here. In to make the tackle, number 72, Mike Popovich. As he sacks McCarthy for about a 6-yard loss. So now they're back to where they started at the 40-yard line.
I still don't understand how a defensive holding penalty is 10 yards and how it's not a 1st down. Usually 5 yards and a 1st down automatic. But I'm not a referee and hope to never be.
8.5 to go in the ball game. McCarthy back to pass. Down the sideline. Wanted Hill. Incomplete.
Intended for Hill.
Stops the clock with 8:17 to go, and now you're in a situation of do you need to just maybe give the ball to St. Peter and try and pick up the 1st down yardage here. That's why I was a little surprised they went for the pass on the sack a couple of plays ago. Last one,
it should be 4th down.
The penalty on the first play kept it at 1st down, and then the sack and then the incompletion.
Yeah.
3rd down and 6. McCarthy's back to throw again. Down the sideline. Wants Gardner. Right through his hands. Nice pass by Ryan McCarthy. Good coverage on the play by number 42, John Hackett. Hackett was able to disturb the vision of Gardner enough. The ball hit Gardner. The hands went through his hands and then hit his knee. So not able to hold it.
Well, that Gardner should have had that one. I mean, that was 6 all over that. And, you know, if you're a receiver, you can only hope that it hits you in the hand.
8:12 to go in the ball game and forced to go for it here. 4th down and 6 at their own 40. McCarthy looking to pick up the 1st down yardage and does. Pass complete to number 10, Jesse Kells. So they have lived to breathe a little bit more here as the completion picks up 17 yards to the MSJ 43 and a 1st down. 8 minutes straight up to go in the ball game. Hartford's quickly to the line of scrimmage. Kudemarsh is out wide left. Here comes McCarthy. He's under heavy pressure and he's sacked. McCarthy is sacked all the way back inside his own territory. At the make it 2nd down and 22 back at their own 44. And McCarthy appeared to come up a little bit lame as if his ankle twisted underneath him as he was being sacked. 7:20 to go.
Alberico really wrestled him to the ground, and good strong tackle there.
Here comes McCarthy rolling right. He's got plenty of time. Passes away, and Gardner can't hold it as he goes to the ground. Pass was low. Gardner slid to try to get in position to catch it. And again, the ball was there and unable as he slid along to hold on to it. So that one falls incomplete. And now Hartford's in another tough position here. 3rd down and 22. 7:09 to go.
At the 44.
Kells is the man out wide to the right. Hill is slot back to the left. McCarthy's back again. Again pressure and brought down. Tackle made by number 58, Bill Babb.
Lost 5 more.
4th down and 27.
Well, I think you got a punt here. You're really putting yourself in a bad situation if you go 4th down, and I know it's difficult to say that being down so far, but boy, you really got to come up with a big play to make the 4th down here.
McCarthy is at the huddle. He's calling the play, and it looks like Hartford's going to come to the line and try and get something here. Jason Hill is in the game. Gardner is in. McCarthy's back. Pretty good pressure. Pass over the middle is complete to Hill. And Hill is going to go for a touchdown, but there is a flag on the play. Hold on. 61-yard completion over the middle to Hill, but I think it's going to come back. Referees are talking. MSJ players and Hartford players are there. McCarthy, completion over the middle to Hill, and it's the MSJ players who are jumping up and down. The penalty is going to be against Hartford, and it's coming back. Mike Stone is out on the field as far as the wires of his coaching headset will take him. And we have yet to see a call. The flag was thrown at about midfield. The play was at the 40, and Hill caught the ball at about the 35. So the flag was thrown right in the middle. And I think what they're saying here is maybe it was an ineligible man downfield, and now the question is who it was. And if it's Gardner, then he's eligible. And I think the referees might have misread who was downfield, because Gardner is right in the middle of this argument with the referees as to who was downfield, and where the flag was thrown. That might be the...
More than that, because this is a big penalty. It can't be ineligible, because ineligible downfield is only 5 yards.
You are correct. And the ball here is
15-yard penalty.
Has been pushed back to the 15.
Illegal participation. So they had more than a number of people on the field. They had 12 men on the field.
Wow. The call is too many men on the field.
Yeah, and MSJ gets the ball.
It's 15 yards and a loss of down.
Yeah.
So that's 15 yards and a loss of down. So MSJ is going to get the ball back at the Hartford 24-yard line. Well, how quickly does that turn around? It looked like Hartford to put the ball into the end zone was going to get them back into within a couple of touchdowns. And now MSJ is within 6 minutes of winning this football game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Stevens and Lorman in behind. This is Stevens.
Just take care of the football.
We talked about at the start of the second half, Chuck, about MS Center here. They're not going to go anywhere near the sideline.
No, 20 seconds.
Under 6 minutes to go.
You know, many of us are used to the professional penalties, and these penalties, this penalty here is really, that was such a killer of a penalty.
This is Lorman right up the middle. You can pretty much add right up the middle to whoever's name I call. Lorman picks up about 7. Down to the 15, they will stop the clock. He is very close to the first down. So if this holds true and Hartford picks up their second Division I loss, that means they go to Brattleboro next Saturday, really in a dangerous position of falling out of the Division I playoff. Hartford's going to take a timeout here as the chains are brought on to measure. They are stretched and...
Yeah, they have it.
They do have enough for the first down.
Football again.
So first down and 10 at the 14 with 5:20 left to go here in the football game. So boy, what a 5 weeks of high school football. Hartford opens up in Division I with a big win at Rutland, comes back here and beats the defending state champion Middlebury. Go to Burlington, which should be an easy win, rolled in the first half, sputtered in the second half, came back last week against a good Essex Junction team, made 4 critical turnovers, but still were in a position to win the football game with 4 seconds left. And then today have just seen the bubble burst. They are behind 24-6 with less than 5 minutes to go, and MSJ threatening with the ball at the Hartford 14-yard line.
And if the Mounties put this in, it's definitely the nail in the coffin.
The backs are split behind Keenan. The pitch will go to Stevens. Stevens running to about the 9, and he's run out of bounds. The ball popped loose at the end of the play, but Stevens had already stepped out of bounds, which I'm a little bit surprised by. In my mind, it's not as if...
Well, we never even saw it.
Right.
I think he got injured on defense is what happened.
He just was out of the ball game, and then we noticed he wasn't in on the next offensive circuit. Hand off, Stevens right up the middle, down inside the 5 to about the 4, so another 5-yard pickup by Jay Stevens. Without the benefit of running totals here, he's got to be well over the 100-yard mark. 4.5 left to go in the ball game. Ball's out to 5, so that's another 4-yard pickup for Jay Stevens, who has certainly stepped in and been more than productive in the absence of Kurt Bombardier. Third down and less than a yard from the 5.
He's close to the 100, but he hasn't quite made it.
Stevens is brought down by Eisner from behind, so he's going to lose one there.
Loss of 1. Make it 4th at 2.
Couple of yards to go for the first down. The clock moves under 4 minutes. Mike Stone and a good majority of his Hartford team outside of the official coaching box, which nobody seems to pay a heck of a lot of attention to. Kind of like the third base box in baseball. Now we're going to have a timeout on the field here as Emma score. 3:41 left to go in the ball game. They ran the punt back, and they only had to go 3 yards for the second touchdown. Then Hughes ran in the fumble, which popped up into the air for the third touchdown. Keenan's going to keep this one himself, try to roll to pick up the first down, and I don't think he got it.
I don't think he did either.
They faked Stevens up the middle, and then Keenan the quarterback tried to keep it himself and did not make it. So MSJ is going to turn it over on downs, and with 3:36 to go in this ball game, Hartford's going to get it back first and 10, but the ball is at their own 11-yard line.
Check that. I think their own 7.
You are correct.
Hartford will start first and 10 at their own 6.
6.
And when things have gone positively for Hartford, and I speak most notably of that long touchdown pass, or what appeared to be the last time they had the ball, they get called for too many men on the field.
And that really killed them. Because if they had been able to convert that, we'd have a ball game right now.
McCarthy throw over the middle.
Hook and ladder.
And now the hook and ladder play to Patco, and he could be gone. With John Patco to the 50. Stevens runs him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So McCarthy to Gardner for about a 25-yard pickup, and then the hook and ladder play as he pitched the ball to Patco. And you know, Chuck, I got to tell you something. I don't think that's who he wanted to pitch it to. It looked like they ran one person by who was too far back. And then came the 2 penalties on the offside on the kick,
And the fact that they just haven't been able to really punch it in.
McCarthy here, the completion to Gardner. And Gardner is brought down inside the 18, and then a face mask penalty is going to get tacked onto that.
Face mask against MSJ.
So McCarthy to Gardner for 21 yards, and then we'll see exactly where they have called the face mask penalty as having occurred at. 2:58 left to go in the ball game, and the face mask penalty is going to bring the ball, it appears, down to the 8-yard line. So first and goal from the 8.
Marcus at the MSJ 8-yard line, first and goal.
2:55 left to go in the ball game. Clock moving. McCarthy brings St. Peter and Patco behind him. Patco now in motion. He wants Hill under heavy pressure. McCarthy's going to keep it himself and get back pretty much to the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up a yard.
Tackled by Hannigan.
Second and goal from the 7. They will say he picked up a little bit of yardage. Clock moving, 2:22.
Second and goal.
Got to give a lot of these Hartford fans credit. It may be 24-6, but not a lot of people have left this facility. And now a referee's going to throw the flag. A couple of flags thrown from the back judge and the side judge. Maybe somebody lined up offside, or you have one of those illegal equipment penalties. And Hartford's the ones who are walking backwards. So it looks like it's on them.
There's not picking up the flag.
Okay.
No flag on the play.
Well, so apparently, it technically will go down as no flag having been thrown. But there was. 2:08 to go in the ball game. McCarthy fumbles the snap and is just able to pick it up and go down.
McCarthy recovers his own fumble.
So that's going to make it third and goal from the 7.
And the clock keeps running.
Yeah.
This has been a long game.
Ooh. Look at that. I didn't even notice. Having so much fun. Exactly. Minute 40 to go. McCarthy, the little swing pass to Patco. He gets down to the 5. Down to about the 1 before he is pulled out of bounds. McCarthy going to take it himself and go in.
Hartford touchdown.
1:06 remaining in this ball game. McCarthy goes in from a yard away. So they go the 93 yards in just 6 plays. with the help of that face mask penalty, to get back to 24-12, and now we'll go for the two-point conversion. McCarthy, he's going to throw it into the corner of the end zone. Gardner is there for the two-pointer. 1:06 to go. 24-14. MSJ leads it. We'll come back in 30 seconds. Kick. I say kick as in 10 yards, and hopefully not much more than that, as he will attempt the onside kick as Hartford tries to get the ball back. Ryan McCarthy with the 1-yard touchdown plunge on 4th and goal, and then the two-point conversion pass. MSJ has their hands team in, including the quarterback, Sean Keenan. Campbell will punch the ball to the left. No, he's actually going to punch it right up the middle, and MSJ fields it and downs it. And here's Mike Stone coming out onto the field and saying to Ryan Camber, "What are you doing?" Hartford is going to talk about that one this week, I'll tell you that much. 56 seconds to go here, and MSJ is going to get it, and with the clock running, I'm sure Keenan's just going to take a knee here, and that's going to about do it. Keenan comes to the line of scrimmage, takes it, and kneels down, and with 36 seconds left, that may well do it. And now Hartford does have one more timeout, so they will take it here.
Well, it's a major upset that we've seen. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, and Chuck, I think most noticeably puts Hartford into a position now where their ball game at Brattleboro next week really becomes of utmost importance.
Well, you know, it's they're up against it. There's no question about it. So is MSJ. And MSJ had to win here today, and they did.
Keenan takes another knee here, and that will allow the clock to run out. So a major upset in Vermont Division I football. MSJ comes to Hartford and plants a 24-14 loss on the Hartford Hurricanes. Turnovers, special teams play, all those little things that could go wrong to force your team into a defeat have happened today. MSJ 24, Hartford 14. We'll come back.